Baseball has had its heroes, its pioneers, its legends, but none crossed oceans, cultures, and expectations quite like Ichiro Suzuki. In 2001, a slender, soft-spoken outfielder from Japan stepped onto an American diamond and changed the game forever. That year, he didn't just win Rookie of the Year, he also claimed the American League MVP, becoming the first player in over half a century to do both in the same season. He did it without speaking the language, without fitting the mold, without playing by anyone's rules but his own. So how did a man who spoke through his bat, who defied both scouts and skeptics, become the bridge between East and West, and one of the purest hitters baseball has ever seen?
To you, yes, my love to you.
Ichiro Suzuki was born on October 22, 1973, in the quiet town of Kasugai, nestled in Japan's Aichi Prefecture. It was a place of narrow streets, rice paddies, and orderly tradition, a far cry from the roaring stadiums and flashing lights he would one day command. His father, Nobuyuki Suzuki, was not a professional coach, but to young Ichiro, he was more than that. He was the architect of an obsession. From as early as age 3, Ichiro gripped a toy bat with a seriousness far beyond his years. By 7, the toys were gone, replaced by real gear and a daily routine that would shape the rest of his life. Every day after school, he would hit baseballs thrown by his father for hours. Not dozens, thousands. They practiced in the backyard, in batting cages and parking lots. The regimen was relentless, 3,000 swings a day, rain or shine. While other children played, Ichiro refined. His childhood was not filled with sleepovers or cartoons, but with discipline, tape recordings of batting form, and the sound of baseballs smacking against nets. Even at school, Ichiro was the quiet kid, focused, restrained. But when he picked up a bat, everything changed. He wasn't trying to be famous. He wasn't trying to be a trailblazer. He just wanted to master the swing. By the time Ichiro reached high school, his talent had outgrown local expectations. He enrolled at Ichodai Maiden High School, known for its rigorous baseball program, and under the watchful eye of coach Toyo Asakura, his discipline turned to precision. Ichiro became a star, batting .505 in his final year, but even then, his unusual style raised eyebrows. His batting stance was unorthodox, leaning forward as if already in motion, his swing compact and fluid, designed not for power, but for control. Some coaches wanted to change him. Scouts questioned whether his mechanics would hold up under pressure, but those who watched closely saw something else, a hitter who could read pitchers like books, who saw seams in midair. In 1992, Ichiro was drafted by the Oryx Blue Wave of Nippon Professional Baseball. For 2 years, he languished in the shadows. Coaches in Japan were bound by tradition. His stance was too weird, too wild, too disrespectful of form. They benched him, hid him, until one man saw what others didn't. Manager Akira Oji, appointed in 1994, gave Ichiro what he'd been denied: freedom. Don't change, he told him. Just play. That season, Ichiro exploded with 210 hits, a .385 batting average, and a style so unique it earned him one-name status across Japan. Still, Ichiro wanted more. He'd scaled one mountain. A bigger one waited. In 2000, the Seattle Mariners made a move few had dared before. They posted $13 million to negotiate with a Japanese position player. Not a pitcher, a hitter. An idea once dismissed became a revolution in motion. Ichiro accepted the offer. In 2001, at the age of 27, he stepped onto a major league field, not just as a player, but as a question. Could someone from the East play the American game? From the moment he stepped into the batter's box at Safeco Field, Ichiro Suzuki made one thing clear. He wasn't here to copy anyone. He was here to redefine the game. In his rookie season in 2001, Ichiro did what most considered impossible. He led the league with 242 hits, batted .350, stole 56 bases, and threw out base runners with laser precision from right field. He became the first player since Fred Lynn in 1975 to win both Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player in the same season, and the first to ever do it as a foreign-born position player. But it wasn't just the numbers that stunned America. It was how he got them. Ichiro didn't crush home runs. He carved singles through infields like a sushi master's blade. His swing was compact, efficient, nearly silent, but it carried the force of 1,000 repetitions a day since childhood. He'd slap a ball into the gap and be standing on first before the shortstop even looked up. Infield hits became a weapon, bloop singles, a statement, and his defense, iconic. In one of the most replayed moments in early 2000s baseball, Ichiro chased down a slicing line drive in right field and without hesitation fired a 300-foot throw on a frozen line to third base, gunning down Terrence Long. The crowd gasped. Commentators paused. That wasn't just arm strength, it was artistry. ESPN aired the clip for weeks. "Don't run on Ichiro" became more than a warning, it was law. Year after year, he proved he was no fluke. He recorded 10 consecutive seasons with 200 or more hits, an MLB record. In 2004, he broke George Sisler's nearly century-old record with 262 hits in a single season. No one had done that before, and no one has since. What made it more incredible was his consistency. He didn't chase trends. He didn't bulk up for power or showboat for headlines. Ichiro brought a samurai's mentality to the plate, controlled, disciplined, deadly. He was a purist in an era leaning toward flash. And yet, Ichiro wasn't just dominating, he was changing how baseball thought about greatness. No longer could scouts ignore non-traditional styles. No longer could MLB assume that Asian players were fit only for the pitcher's mound. Ichiro showed that baseball wasn't America's game, it was the world's. Even legends have to face time. By the early 2010s, Ichiro's bat began to quiet. His once blazing speed dimmed. The Mariners were in a rebuilding phase, and Ichiro, once their centerpiece, was becoming a relic in the lineup. He still trained harder than anyone, still arrived at the ballpark before sunrise, still studied opposing pitchers like sacred texts. But the numbers told a different story, and Ichiro knew it. In 2012, after over a decade with Seattle, he made a move that stunned fans. He requested a trade, not to chase a championship, not for more money, but because he felt the team needed to move forward, and he didn't want to stand in the way. He landed in New York with the Yankees, stepping into the pinstripes not as a star, but as a role player. For the first time in his career, he came off the bench. He wasn't Ichiro the phenomenon, he was Ichiro the veteran. Then came Miami. Then came age 40. Then 41. 42. The media began to write farewells. Fans assumed retirement was near. But Ichiro didn't stop. Every day he took batting practice like he was still fighting for a roster spot. He ran drills with rookies half his age. He never showed frustration, never asked for more playing time. He simply prepared, waited, and played the game the only way he knew how, with quiet purpose. In 2018, the Mariners brought him home, not for stats, but for meaning. In a poetic gesture, they allowed Ichiro to play 2 final games in Tokyo, in front of a sold-out Tokyo Dome, where thousands cried before he even stepped on the field. And in his final inning, when the ball was hit to right field one last time, he jogged toward it, not as a player chasing a stat, but as a man saying goodbye. He bowed, deeply, to the fans, to the game, to everything he had given and everything it had given back. Ichiro Suzuki didn't just play baseball, he elevated it. When he retired in 2019, he left behind more than just statistics, though they were staggering. Over 3,000 hits in Major League Baseball, over 4,300 professional hits when including his career in Japan, more than Pete Rose, 10 consecutive Gold Gloves, 10 All-Star selections, a batting title in his rookie year, a record for hits in a single season that may never be broken. But Ichiro's true legacy isn't etched in numbers. It lives in the silence between swings, in the respectful bows before and after each game, in the kids in Tokyo, Seoul, and Los Angeles who grew up copying his unique stance in their backyard, in the idea that greatness can be quiet, humble, and meticulously crafted. He changed how scouts viewed international players. He inspired generations across continents. Shohei Ohtani has said he watched Ichiro as a child and dreamed of doing the same. Yu Darvish called him a living standard. And for fans, Ichiro was proof that baseball could be both art and discipline, both science and poetry. He never sought the spotlight, but when he walked away, the stadium lights dimmed with him. Years from now, long after his name is carved into Cooperstown's walls, young players will still tape their wrists, bend their knees, and whisper his name. Because Ichiro Suzuki wasn't just the best Japanese player in MLB history. He was the quiet echo that changed the sound of the game forever.